Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
That's right. It's been a long time, but once again, by popular demand, and by popular I mean Rob's demand, yes, it's time for another Third Best Southgate. That Rob Southgate show for Rob Southgate, by Rob Southgate.
Yeah.
Starring Rob Southgate.
I changed it to just Rob.
With a Z.
Yeah, Rob with a Z. You know what? I'm gonna fix that. Rob Z-Gate.
That's right, kids. Mark his words because he will have plenty.
Well, I just noticed that blue thing with my name covers up half the screen, so I thought, I'll
Rob
bring it down.
Z-Gate.
I'll minimize, like Phil. Yeah, because I'm hip-hop. We all know that. So, hi, Lilith. Hi, Phil.
Hi, Robert.
Okay, that was getting creepy,
It's been
there.
a while.
That's like nightmare fuel, Phil. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Oh, boy. So, how are you guys doing? It's been a while. It's been, like 3 months? 4 months? Have we done one this year?
Yeah, I don't think we did one this year, actually.
Wow. Actually, we did, because we did. I had
Oh, yeah, you did plug something this year.
somebody on for, I can't remember who I had on with me for Black Ballad.
Yes.
And then
yes.
I think that was the last one we did. Boy,
Yes.
things have been crazy
Oh.
since then.
That's your life, though.
I mean,
There's no excuse.
everyone's been crazy. I know.
I mean, crazy is his middle name, but that's not my business.
Aw.
That is a Z.
Yeah, crazy with two Z's.
Crazy, but it starts with a Z.
I mean, I guess
Very hip-hop.
I guess since we're there, I mean, Rob, tell everyone what you've been up to,
What you've
and
been up to, yeah.
how can you help them, Rob?
Oh, God.
That's what everyone else say.
Well, I mean, yes, there's all that coaching stuff, but that's actually not the big deal. In
Oh.
fact, Phil, you don't even know. You don't even know what's been going on. So how do I even go through this? I've got an NDA, too, so I got to be careful. It's like a minefield.
Ooh, juicy.
Yeah, you're going to Lilith, you're going to love all this that's going on. So I can go back to that point when I did Black Ballad, and I helped those guys out. They had originally talked to me about maybe being like marketing director, and when they first told me about it, I went, "That's not the role you're actually telling me. Like, you're saying something that doesn't really exist, which is a new media PR and marketing person. Doesn't really exist. You know, PR people always say they're doing new media, but they throw a bunch of things out at podcasts, they don't read them, and they never end up on podcasts. Or they get on the podcast and they say, how many listens? It's like, okay, that doesn't work. So I got them on a bunch of podcasts. I got them on a bunch of Twitch shows. I made lots of friends in those realms that I had not made before, which was cool. Immediately I got hired by another game. So I'm like, I guess I'm doing TTRPGs, which is awesome. Then I got hired for a film, and that was when you had Craig on. You had him on Capes and Lunatics. I got hired for a film for the same thing. I'm like, this is cool. Since then, have I done more of these? Doesn't matter. So Black Ballad is with Storytellers Forge. Storytellers Forge is under the umbrella of Four Horsemen Publishing, which is, they're a mid-level publisher about the size of Macmillan. Most people have heard of Macmillan. It's about that same size in distribution, so it's a good size. Well, I was going to interview Val and Erica from Four Horsemen, who I didn't even know who they were. It just said they were part of our Black Ballad team. So I'm like, I'm going to interview them for a new show that I created, because you know me, I am not alive if I'm not creating shows and doing more crap. So I started one called TTRPG Insider to interview people that are doing TTRPGs. And I thought I was interviewing them for that. Turned out it was a meet and greet. Val is the COO for Four Horsemen. Erica's the CEO. And we're just kind of talking and having a good time. And Erica goes, I'd love for you to do this, what you do, for my writers. And I went, okay. And I started thinking, like, how is this going to work? Because is it just when new books come out? How are we going to work this? And it's going to get really, really expensive for her really fast if we're doing it the way I do the other things. So we set up a meeting, and it didn't even make it a full meeting. It didn't even make it past, hey, let's talk. No, I've got an idea, Erica says. Okay, I now feel your pain. You know when you guys get on the phone with me and it's like a million miles an hour hodgepodge and it's never to the point until the end? This is my new best friend, Erica. She's me. She's me. It's crazy. I get so much right. She has this idea. Oh, I do. She has this idea about doing basically writers' things at conventions. That's an easy way to say it. That's where I've got the NDA. We're starting to get into the NDA territory here. So basically, what we're doing is we're going to be traveling to cons all over the country in the beginning, eventually the world, with this thing that we created. She said she'd like to get 4 in the first year. That was on a Tuesday, right after this phone call, where we kind of said, okay, here's what it is. We kind of mapped it out. And she said, man, if we could get 4 in the first year, that'd be amazing. And I said, okay. That was on Tuesday. On Thursday, I had 2 booked. And she was like, oh, that's how you work. I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah. So do you want me to slow down or what? And so we decided on 10 in the first year. And then I said, I think we have to scale. We haven't even done 1 yet. And we now have 3 teams we can pull from for these. And it's nuts. Now, we still only have 2 booked, but we're in negotiations on a bunch. And one of them I'm super excited about would be like 15 cons in the next year, just with one group. So I'm going to be a lot of Comic-Cons. And when I do it, we do, guess what, live podcasting, and we are dealing with authors, and we do panels, and basically they want me to do what I do at panels. So like the legit ones, when I do, let's talk about social media, let's talk about how you market a podcast or how you create a podcast. And then they want me to do like hosting things. And the cons we've been talking to are like, great, we can use you as a track host on things because you're entertaining and all this. I'm like, so I'm going to be in a booth. I'm going to be in podcast things. And now they're hiring Maeve. And it even started before that. She said, well, we've got this conflict where we've got one in like Indianapolis and one in Calgary. And the Calgary one's really big. So it has to be you at the big one. And this is next year if this all goes to plan. And she goes, let's just have Molly run it. Okay, Molly's 16. She'll be 17 at that point. She's like, yeah, she's fine. So we found partners for her for that, which is really weird because it'll probably be Maeve and I in Calgary and Molly doing a completely separate event with these other people. It's so weird.
I love how everyone trusts Molly to be on her own more than they trust Rob to be on his own.
Oh, my God.
Maeve's his handler. Let's all just be honest here.
Seriously. Well, they came over. They were in town for ALA, and we invited Erica and Val and Jen, who's the editor, and her husband. We invited them over for dinner. We're like, hey, we'll make pulled pork, and that way you guys could rest up before the ALA conference. And I was going. Here's a funny story. So I get contacted. Somebody asked if I wanted to go to ALA, and I'm like, sure. I look it up. It's $500 a ticket. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd be happy to go. All they want me to do, this guy has a booth, and all he wants me to do is have my text open. So if he has to pee, I can come back and sit in the booth for 10 minutes. So I'm like, pee boy, right? So I'm like, yeah, sure. The rest of the time I could go network. So I'm like,
I need that as a drop, please.
I'm like, oh yeah. Now it's turned on. I get to just work the con, right?
Oh boy.
So, Phil, you already saw the fruit of it, and you've only seen a bit of the fruit of it because I was sending you contacts.
Oh, the contacts. Yeah.
Yeah, they're legit. If they haven't gotten back to you, just you wait, because they've just started getting back to me.
Oh, okay.
I've got the right people at DC. There was nobody from Marvel there, but DC, Dark Horse, Boom.
Well, if it's not Archie, I don't care. You're nobody.
Yeah, there was no Archie represented there. But yeah, it was crazy. The best part was when I walked up to the DC booth and they had featured artists and writers that were going to be there. One of them is a friend of mine. So I walked up. I'm like,
boy, here we go. Name drop. Mark the bingo card.
I'm not going to name it.
Don't drop the name. Do it.
It was Gene Ha who did the big Wonder Woman. One. And they were like really promoted. So I'm like, oh, I know Gene. He's going to be here. Gene's a friend of mine.
Name drop alert, kids.
We did not meet up. But it was funny how many name drops I did meet up with that, like, I turn a corner, I'm like, oh my God.
Meanwhile, everybody's like, where's Molly?
I did get that. Because the first day I saw a bunch of our friends that didn't know I was there. I was standing behind this guy's booth, and they come by and they're like, you have a comic? You have a booth? I'm like, no, I'm P-Boy. And we started talking. What's the first thing then? After, like, making fun of me for being P-Boy was, well, where's Molly? Is she here? Like, where's Maeve? I'm like, I know, third best. I got it.
It's an aptly titled show, guys.
We have to make up T-shirts or something just with your picture at third best Southgate on it. We have to.
Yeah, but nobody's going to buy it unless it has Molly and Maeve on it. So yeah,
we'll put you on the back. Actually,
that is the thumbnail of what's going on. I am doing stuff for the publisher. I am doing this con thing, which is crazy, and it's huge. And there's stuff there that I can't talk about that's crazy. I can talk about this. So this week with Erica, she's busy, right? Every week we have at least 1 2 to 3 hour conversation. Okay. She told Maeve when they were out here, she said, I can't afford more than a 20-minute conversation with anybody. She goes, I get on the phone with Rob and we go for 2 to 3 hours. And she said, and at the end, I'm like, we could have kept going. It's like, no, we've all got to work. Today I had to go, I got to work. And we're working the whole time we're talking. It's crazy. But she does 2 podcasts. What a shock. She has one called Drinking with Authors, done 400 episodes. It's really good. She gets good names on there. And then she has another one called Eerie Travels, which is a paranormal podcast. And she had asked me about how to up the game on these, right? So I gave her right away. I was like, here, fix this, do this, blah, blah, blah. Consulting stuff. And I thought she was going to try to hire me for consulting on top of everything else. And then she writes me yesterday. No, the day before. Yeah. She writes to me. I'm trying to think when I did yesterday. So she wrote to me on Monday. We were going to have a meeting on Tuesday. And she said, remind me to ask about podcast producers. Oh, God, is what she writes. I'm like, uh-oh. So we get on the phone, and she's having issues. She's had to get rid of podcast producers. She doesn't have the time to edit and do all the shit. So I said, and she had all these things, and I was like, it's kind of tied into the consulting I'm doing for her. I said, how about if you just let me do it? So I just took over Drinking with Authors as executive producer. I've already got episodes up, new artwork, all this shit. She's like, oh my God, like I'm working so fast. And I said, like,
this
you guys,
when you drink all that coffee.
Yeah, seriously. Well, and you guys know when we were doing I was like editing 36 shows a week, plus I was on 10. Like you bend time. Phil, you do it. You bend time. And when she said this, she goes, oh, you don't have time to do this. You're like the ideal guy to do it. And I was like, yeah, this is like dropping out of my pocket. This is nothing. Took me yesterday I had to work most of the day, but I was cleaning up all the stuff the other people had been doing. I had to get it back into working order. Today, I just edited all day because she has so much stuff waiting and they were behind. So I got an episode posted yesterday. I got an episode that's going up tomorrow. She's going to do 2 a week. I've got 4 episodes already done in the can, artwork, everything, so that now I can go and like, how do I tweak this? How do I tweak that? So I'm back to being an executive producer on multiple shows. I do one for another theater too, but that one, all I do is artwork, send it to them. I guess I kind of do the same thing. I don't know. So yeah, my life. It's boy, I wish I could talk about all this stuff because eventually I'll be able to, and you guys will be like in love with it. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I know. Some of the stuff like the con stuff you were telling me. Remember when we talked on the when we talked on the phone? I had like a 30-35 minute drive home from work, and then we were still on the phone. I got home. We're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Phil was P-boy on that one. He had to go.
Pretty much.
Yeah. In fact, Phil, I actually was booking people today for Indie PopCon, but you don't have a book to sell. So I was like, at first I was like, oh, I should call Phil and he could try this. Then I was like, he doesn't have anything to sell.
Lilith, we have to write a book.
You should. Take your episode. Okay, pro tip.
We'll get Kristen or Will to do it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, get him to ghostwrite.
Oh, yeah.
Get him to ghostwrite. Give him an offer, a couple $100.
Real professors, yes.
And, the other thing you could do, they'll do it. They'll probably do it.
A class.
The other thing you could do with that is you could take, because I actually did this, I just haven't edited it down, but I took the interviews from a couple of the shows and I transcribed them. I went through a service, transcribed them, started cleaning them up. Now, that's where the trick is. But if I'd hired somebody out to do it, it would have been nothing. Take those things and do Capes and Lunatics interviews, 2023. Yeah. You instantly got a book.
Or just some of the interviews we've ever done.
Yeah, anything.
Chapter 3. Peter David calls Charlie a dumbass.
I made one. I was starting to make one for Live at the Blue Box, where I was taking the interviews and then excerpts from some of the crazier things that happened, and it was really fun, but it wasn't translating quite right. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I took the interviews from Alley Chats, and some of those were great. I was like, these are pretty fun. So that'll probably be the first interview book. I can guarantee there won't be a third best Southgate book. It's just not going to happen.
Oh, come on.
Look at how bushy I am. I was going to clean up before Maeve came home from, and I've been here all week. I've turned into you guys watch Umbrella?
Turning back into The Bachelor.
Oh my God. No, I'm turning into the guy from Umbrella Academy. I take my shirt off. It's a full on gorilla. Did you guys watch that show?
What Umbrella?
I did a little bit of it.
Umbrella Academy? Why are you making a face, Phil?
I didn't. No, I'm just saying I didn't. No,
I can't tell if Lilith is making a face. Lilith, did you not like it?
I didn't like the adaptation. I love the comic book itself. They were too afraid to get really weird, and then the stuff that they did get weird on was gross. So anyway,
I've been watching it finally. I'm in the first season. I think I'm 8 episodes in. I love it.
The first season's fine. The second season gets weird.
Does it? I love it. I think it's really great. At least at this point.
The last season is a catastrophe.
Oh no! It's like I do like the weird though, because Doom Patrol, the first season was absolute killer. I loved it. I still never went back and watched the second season. I think there's 3 seasons, right?
Oh, well, they're halfway through the 4th, right? And this is the final season. They're halfway through the 4th, and we're just waiting for the second half of the 4th and final season. Yeah.
Is it still good? Because that first season was dynamite.
I mean, it's okay.
Nothing's gonna top the first season.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, they lose Timothy Dalton partway through, so I mean, you don't have Timothy Dalton for
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still good. But yeah, I don't think anything really tops the first season.
Yeah, that first season was excellent. I didn't get a chance to watch Swamp Thing, and they disappeared.
I think that might be on Max, isn't it?
No, I think they took it back.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. I was going to watch it when it was on the DC thing, and then it disappeared, and then I think it was on Max, but it was a month. Yeah. But now because of what did he just direct? He just directed something. He's got a hit right now, and I saw an article with him, the director of Swamp Thing, saying the showrunner saying now he hopes that because he has this momentum that they'll let him do the rest of the series because he was not done, and everyone says it's really excellent. So,
I mean, but it's better than some of the stuff DC put.
Wait, are we? I mean, Mark Verheiden, that guy?
No. Oh man, Lilith. Now I got to look it up.
Sorry.
IMDb.
I know James Wan was an executive producer or something on that. So I'm trying to. Rob Hackett. Okay, let me look. I don't know.
Or Buddy Hackett. I heard he was involved.
That's in the chat.
What do you guys think of Swamp Thing? What do you guys think of wait a minute, is that it? Of the Timothy Chalamet Ding Dong Wonka trailer? That was a drop. That wasn't Lilith actually crapping her pants. No, actually,
No,
yeah.
He's way too young. What are we doing?
Mark Verheiden.
I was right.
Well, it's like the Aunt May effect. They just keep getting younger.
But what
if
did Mark
Will
Verheiden
Ferrell
do?
wasn't so damn problematic, I would have petitioned it. But I mean, I like Johnny Depp's version better than this one. Not saying a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I mean, the original is the
Phenomenal.
greatest. And see, this was interesting. Like, they're trying to do, like, a prequel to that one, but, and I get it.
I want to know, they got to show Grandpa, because he was a scammer. That's all I'm saying. It's not about the grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
He jumps out of the bed the minute they get the golden ticket. He was scamming.
Oh, totally.
So I wanted about the grandpa, okay? That's the prequel to Willy Wonka I want.
Yeah, I didn't, I mean, the original one is just the greatest thing. This one, watching that trailer, first of all, I didn't
thought
feel...
it was an SNL parody at first. I had to double check.
Well, yeah, if you think about...
What, you think of Chalamet in a box? Is that what you're talking about?
If you think about... yeah, I don't know who it was. It's not him either. If you think about Gene Hackman, first of all, was an amazing actor, and he had a charisma.
On a dime charisma, yeah.
But it was
a
one
little
where...
menacing, but you were still rooting for him because those kids
Right.
were little poop heads.
Well, and he played it really dark.
Mm-hmm.
And here, Chalamet, or however you say his name, I'm like, he seems like he's trying to kind of imitate Gene Wilder, but kind of not, kind of being himself. I don't know. I would have preferred either full-on Gene Wilder impression, like just go with him younger, but find somebody with the charisma. This wasn't doing it for me, and I'm scared because
We have Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa. It should be the other way around. Timothy Chalamet should be the Oompa Loompa,
And-
Hugh Grant should be Willy Wonka. What are we doing? And this is a Christmas release.
you're totally right. Him as Willy Wonka, but older, like he comes back to the factory.
Because you know Charlie messed it up listening to his grandpa. You know the
Oh,
factories are
that's
ruined,
the
they're
story.
bankrupt. I'm just saying.
That's the story.
Nobody
A
calls
prequel?
Lilith, though. I have tons of screenplays for sale.
Who wants the
Send it to Capes and
prequel?
Lunatic.
And they kind of did the prequel stuff in the Johnny Depp one,
Exactly.
and it's like,
Which nobody saw, by the way.
Well, that's the big thing, for the last couple of years. But they just keep making prequels to stuff. It's like, yeah, let's see what happened now. Let's keep going forward.
That's the easy way when you're out of
They
ideas.
have nothing. This is what we have to understand. Like, if Barbie doesn't do well, they have nothing. They have no budget to do Blue Beetle, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is their answer to Namor. What are you doing? I know you blew all your money on The Flash, but literally, Blue Beetle, Jamie Reyes is your answer to Namor to get the Spanish and Hispanic community on your side, and you're not giving it a marketing budget. Bad look, you're done.
Yeah.
Aquaman doesn't matter. So, it's just like, what are
Big
you doing?
words from Lilith. Wow.
Well, are they?
I can poop on DC Cinematic Universe.
Oh, yeah.
I was wrong. I should start a class action lawsuit about how bad the DCEU is.
I mean, are they just like not even putting in the effort until Superman Legacy, until Gunn
Pretty
officially
much.
starts? Yeah.
Pretty much. And that's
Well,
a
I
shame.
mean, they're
they
just
really
dealing-
blew it with Blue Beetle. Like I said, I didn't even think it was a real movie because they're just not marketing it.
No, and actually the marketing's been pretty bad. I know that people online were like, oh, it looks cool. I didn't think it looked cool at all, and I think that Blue Beetle's a great character. It wasn't.
They're making Susan Sarandon, America's favorite stepmom, a bad guy.
Yeah. And I can already see what it's going to do, and I don't know.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. It's not connected to things. You have to read your audience now. Everybody's
Right.
trained. If it's not part of a cinematic universe, they don't want it, unfortunately.
And that is the one thing that Gunn got right when he came in, and he said he was starting to clear house a little bit, and he was like, hey, there are going to be different factions here. Like, the Batman stuff can be in this Batman universe. It doesn't have to tie into what I'm doing. Pattinson's Batman does not necessarily show up here. Joker does not necessarily show up in the DCEU. DCEU is its own pillar. And I'm like, that's actually a good way to do it, because unless you can really compete with Marvel and the way they've built their thing out,
It's just too late for that. They have to do their own
right,
thing.
do this other thing, which is really interesting.
I mean, did you guys see that? They cast a bunch of different DC characters for Superman Legacy. Did you see Nathan
Yeah.
Fillion's going to be Guy Gardner?
Yeah.
I mean, Nathan Fillion. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel for nostalgia here.
Yeah.
No offense to you Castle fans. Don't at me, but...
I mean, I love Nathan Fillion, but they're trying to... No, he's not the right guy at all. But
this is like Ryan Reynolds being freaking Hal... No, he was supposed to be Barry Allen. No. Right. It's just bad casting again.
Now Ryan Reynolds is just getting Hugh Jackman into that yellow suit fight.
Yeah, well...
He's like, you can sleep with my wife. It's fine.
Wow!
Ryan Reynolds beat all of it by figuring it out, you know?
Yeah. Bless his heart.
And the fact that he's taking the slights that happened in Wolverine Origins when they muted him, and he's flipping the whole thing, and he's made it so that, like, that's all you want to see is this. It's like, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, I just watched Ant-Man finally, Quantumania, and I saw a lot of people kind of busting on it. They are wrong. I had a lot of fun with that movie.
I mean, if you're going into it for freaking Rudd and freaking
Evangeline Lilly,
yeah.
That's not it. You're going in for Michelle Pfeiffer. And
oh my God!
Like, that's my thing.
There cannot be enough Michelle Pfeiffer in that, though.
Yes,
I love her so much. I love her at everything, and Bill Murray was worthless in it.
He's in it for like 5 minutes. I mean,
I know
as he is post, his Laz Luhrmann.
Yeah.
Stint.
Yeah, he. I was like, but Michelle Pfeiffer was. Oh my God. Oh my God, she's amazing.
Which Ant-Man and Wasp we were going to feature, and that was the trick of it, right?
Yeah, that's right. I really enjoyed it. I thought that was a lot of fun. And I like
MODOK kind of threw me off a little bit.
What did?
MODOK.
Okay, I hated MODOK. I thought that looked like crappy CGI, weird design. I thought the actors.
Patton Oswalt's right there.
Why did they not do Patton Oswalt?
Probably
I mean, seriously.
The actual MODOK show. He probably was like, well,
because he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It would have made more sense.
Yeah, it would have.
Plus, why did he turn into MODOK? Like, it just, I don't know.
And there's a backstory there, but even I had to dig for it. I'm like, okay.
I think they just wanted a tie to the Ant-Man franchise.
Right. It was all right. That part was almost terrible, but then by the end, I actually was okay with MODOK. I hated when he premiered, but by the end, I was like, okay. The scene when he's dying or whatever, I don't know if he actually dies. It looked better, and he was able to do a little bit of acting in there, and I was like, okay, actually, this part's working for me. But yeah, MODOK. How about what's his name? That's like blowing up his own career. Kang. So I'm watching him, and I was reading about it before, and they're like, this is a real problem for Marvel, and they saw Jonathan Majors' audition and went, this all becomes Kang because he's so good. Is he?
Well, didn't his accuser recant and is now arrested, though?
No, he's got a bunch of accusers, though.
Well, I mean, people hop on the bandwagon. I mean, I'm just saying.
Right, and it could be fine, but...
And again,
anyway,
it's just so much muddy waters. It's like, are people lying, or are they getting paid off?
Feeling untouchable. Okay, so as a stockholder, I know a little bit of the inside facts, and they're kind of doing bad. So they haven't really been doing that whole. Well, I knew they weren't really researching people too well when they cast Jeremy Renner. If you know, I'm not here for slander. I'll just put allegedly on it. But there's a couple of eyebrow-raising people that they have in there, and then I guess they just got too big for the britches, and they really, literally just stopped doing basic Googles at this point because they're the mouse.
Yeah, no kidding.
Cover it up. So yeah, now it's kind of biting them in the butt.
So Jonathan Majors, I mean, I liked him in what is it? Hell County, whatever. Lovecraft County.
Oh, Lovecraft Country. Okay.
He's good, but I don't think he's like they're acting like he's great. I think he's good. But the whole time I'm watching it,
all Marvel actors are. They're good enough.
No, there's a lot. There are a lot that are actually good.
The older ones, not the younger ones.
Oh, not the younger ones. No, you're right. Except
Michael B. Jordan is the exception.
Well, okay, two exceptions: Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld in.
Yes,
TV shows.
She's
amazing.
Yes,
she was so good.
Yes.
They should have made a movie with her, Kate Bishop. Like next project, Kate Bishop, because she was awesome. She outacted
Instead, we're getting
Jeremy
Echo.
Renner.
Well, eventually,
Yeah.
we'll probably
Maybe.
we'll probably get Young Avengers, built
We're
around
not
Haley
getting nothing.
Steinfeld.
Disney, look, mark my words on this. You didn't hear this from me, kids, but mark my words. In the next 3 years, Disney Plus ain't gonna be around.
I could see that.
They're in a bad way, guys.
They're in a
All you
bad
do
way.
is a cursory Google search if you don't believe this is not me hating on the mouse, not worshiping.
Well, no.
This is a stockholder, a shareholder, like fact.
I-
We're worried.
I saw an article today. Was it Iger was saying, "Oh yeah, about Marvel lost the focus, even and that,
Right. He was talking about the
because all
more
the
Marvel
shows and stuff,
Star Wars stuff. He's
Yeah.
like, the shows are muddying it. See,
It's not an event anymore. It's just not.
It's not, but there's also so that problem is not because of the streaming. That problem is because of COVID, and they tried to market their way out by throwing it onto Disney Plus, throwing those movies, and it worked somewhat, but it effed
It kept
up
them
their
afloat.
it effed up their Pixar property.
Well,
It really
they've
did.
been trying to kill Pixar for about a decade now.
Yeah,
and
well-
they'll have 2 flops and then boom, they'll bounce right back after those
Right.
2 flops. That's the cycle for Pixar right now. So they're just
Right.
like, oh, damn you, going red, damn you,
Right.
damn you, soul.
Right. So they actually, I think that's Iger's saying that's the problem. That is not the problem with Disney Plus. The Disney Plus problems, they're mismanaging, but they're all doing it. They're all mismanaging these streaming things. Like they all got big.
Everybody wants to be cable now. I mean, literally, because they're having ads right now. So everybody wants to be cable. It's like, babes, we left cable for you.
Right.
So if you're going to start this, we're going to see a spike in people riding the 7 seas of the internet again. When Netflix came and it was all in one place.
Well,
it went down, and now it's back up.
Well,
Surprise,
HBO
surprise.
Max, they start cutting shows like crazy, and you're like, wait a minute.
Without telling you.
I'm like, I'm into this show. You got me. You're getting my money, and you're canceling it. Like, what the hell? I'm finding. We were just having a conversation about this the other day. Like, are we going to start keeping some of these? Yeah, there's enough that we're watching right now, but at some point, especially now with all the strikes going on, they could be in a world of hurt. I am not paying
We're
to
getting
see
a return of reality TV with a vengeance, and I
Yeah.
am not looking forward to it.
No.
I was there. Don't cite magic to me. I was there when it was crafted. Okay.
I mean,
Here's
Rob,
how bad it was.
I saw Heroes die. I saw Lost die. I saw the rise of Real Housewives. Okay, I was there.
I watched The Littlest Groom. That's how bad it was.
No. MILF Manor.
Oh, whoa!
It's the
Manor.
destruction of society. I never thought I would be saying this like I was my grandma. But, oh my God. I finally found a reality show that just literally was like, oh no.
Pro tip,
Sweet
kids.
baby Jesus, come just cleanse the earth. Please.
Don't Google MILF Manor because no matter what you get, you're going to be sorry it's on your computer.
And that's why you need a VPN and an actual incognito browser.
a giant
Right.
server farm like Lilith has for her porn.
Exactly.
But no, Rob, we were talking and we said out of all the streamers, we think like Paramount Plus is probably like
shockingly, Paramount Plus has
leading
their
the
stuff
pack.
together.
That's because it's got the Star Trek stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It is not pulling together with movies, and it's not pulling
Yeah,
together
the
with enough
movies
shows.
is the problem, but their back catalog is amazing.
Yeah,
they
but they're
have
not using
they have
it.
MTV, they have Daria, they have all
Right.
of that. And
Right.
then they also have, like, the stuff your dad and your grandpa watch. They got the Sylvester Stallone show. They got the I'm surprised they haven't offered Chuck Norris a show yet, to be quite honest. Like, and they have Yellowstone with Kevin Costner. They have the whole Yellowstone universe.
Yep.
They have Rabbit Hole with Kiefer Sutherland, my favorite show on the whole dang, on the whole streamer. They just really
Star
like,
Trek
when it
Strange
was
New
all
Worlds.
access, I was like, ew, what is this? And now that it's like actually like unified and they've figured it out, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yeah, I watch more Paramount Plus than I do.
Yeah, maybe not movies, but TV wise, I think they're
TV-wise,
they're
Yeah, they're.
Well, I just
Getting a
watch
lot
all
right.
the Star Trek movies too, so
Well,
it's
yeah.
nice to have it in one place.
yeah.
I mean, I do watch a lot of Trek on there.
And again, Strange
Yeah.
New Worlds. Oh my lord.
Yeah.
So yeah, Paramount Plus I like, but that was one that my family was debating on getting rid of. Even though I'm like, we watch stuff on here all the time. Disney Plus, there's just enough, but I don't.
If you don't have it bundled with Hulu and ESPN, why have it?
Right.
That's the only reason
Yeah.
I literally have Disney Plus. I don't remember
Right.
the last time I actually clicked Disney Plus on my remote.
For the when the new Marvel show comes up, that's when I'm watching Disney Plus. And again, with the bundle, it's like, yeah, Luke is watching ESPN and stuff. That's
I
what it
have
is.
all my Disney movies from the vault, like any decent '90s kid should.
Is that why they did the bundle too, or are they like trying to
Oh, yeah,
help
absolutely.
yeah.
help Disney Plus's numbers? Okay.
And now that they have the get started, and it's cheaper.
There-
It still hasn't helped, actually.
But where they're screwing up is the content. I mean, everyone gets excited. I can watch all my Disney movies. How many times can you watch Little Mermaid? And
How many times can you scroll past those terrible live action remakes?
Yep. So, and they bought Fox.
And then they
Load
didn't put it
it
on there.
up with Fox movies.
Like, I can't watch this. Like, okay, The Simpsons. It's like
30 seasons. What,
it'll
30
take-
seasons
it'll
of The
take me
Simpsons
the
ain't enough
rest
for
of
you?
my life to watch every episode. But okay,
Right, but
you
I
got
feel
me.
like it's all content that we've all seen a million times.
Yeah.
It was event content. Now, I do like the Star Wars shows. I do like the Marvel shows. They did get a little heavy with them for a bit there, so I can understand why, like, if I was Iger, I wouldn't bite the hand, but I'd say, let's pare it back. Let's do, 2 things a year
But allegedly, Secret
and make
Invasion
other stuff.
is not doing well. That's Samuel L. freaking Jackson. I mean,
Yeah, but
he's the favorite.
It's got script problems.
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't watched it.
I watched the first
a lot
episode.
Of shows have script problems on Disney Plus, but that's not my big.
Yeah, but when it gets it right, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
You know? WandaVision was fun, yeah. Loki was fun.
Well, Time Authority. When we got to that part, that's where it really
I thought
spiked.
Miss Marvel started out really well, but it got too kiddie for me, and I dropped off.
It seemed like it was
It was a Disney Plus show.
It was
guys.
for
It
it was
really
for it was
was.
for
It was a
kids.
Disney
It wa-
show rom com, guys.
Yeah,
Right,
for
it
kids.
really was.
For kids.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But they, number one, they need to differentiate a little bit so we understand what's for what. Number two, they have a content problem, and they have a mountain of content.
That
Where's-
they don't want to release. They bought Fox out of spite, if we're all being honest.
They did, but where's
Look at Hulu. They have FX as like this weird sub network, and they really could be making a lot of money from the FX shows.
Well,
but they bury them.
I mean,
Bury 'em.
they always
They
seem like
don't promote them.
Marvel seems like they have a plan, but it was like, did they get like kind of sucker punch where they're like,
Do
oh
you
yeah,
have to bring back Iger?
oh, or
Just saying.
is it just like, oh hey, Robert Downey Jr.'s gone, Chris Evans is gone, Scarlett Johansson's gone?
Well, it's
Yeah.
that too, but
no?
I don't know.
Once again, it's the content. So even forget Fox. Where's all that Touchstone stuff? Where's all that stuff that Disney did that was their more adult stuff?
Technically, Golden Girls are Disney grandma.
Technically, Pulp Fiction was put out by Miramax, which was
Exactly.
owned by Disney at the time. So
They
it's
want to keep it so advertiser friendly.
Yeah, they want to be like the family thing, but it's like, well, it don't seem like it's working for you in there. It's
right. How they want to be the
And
family
that's
thing,
only
but then
in America.
but then they
do
have the Punisher on there now, and you're like,
Yeah.
this isn't family. So if you want to promote your properties, let's make it so that there is like maybe a family option that blocks stuff.
Yeah.
Don't they have that?
Okay.
already? Like,
I thought they had
kids
something like that for the
kids?
for the
But then-
Netflix stuff that
But
the
then
Punisher.
give us the Alien movies, give us those Predator movies, give us. I mean, geez, think about Fox has so much
Yeah.
stuff. Give it to
Give
us,
me Greg the Bunny, damn it.
but don't give me the same 9 Star Wars movies every time I turn Disney Plus on.
Yeah.
It makes me nuts.
Speaking of people doing bad things, so Twitter's imploding and Threads is allegedly winning. So have you checked out
Threads?
Threads yet?
No, I haven't seen Threads.
It's literally a Twitter clone.
It's
But
the guys that started it, isn't it?
no, this is a purely meta clone. A meta
What is-
clone.
Okay, Threads app. There's one that was started by
Threads
the
and no, that is what is it? Blue Skies or whatever.
yeah,
Blue
isn't
Skies
that
is the one that was started, and then there's another one that was created by 2 African American employees that got disrespected, and that one is called Spill, which is like iOS right now only. There's a lot of drama going on in like the who's gonna be the new Twitter clone war. It looks like Threads because it has Instagram. You just transfer everything over, right? Like how they did back in 2014 when they stopped letting you message in the web browser and made you download the app.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing now.
Oh, get some traffic, Rob. Start an app, Threads with a Z.
Oh, it's a lot of actual Thread clones that have been getting shut down on the Play stores.
Oh,
So-
really?
Oh, mainly because it's not available in the EU because, of course, atrocious privacy policy violations left and right.
Of course. All right, I just signed into Threads.
Oh, you didn't use your Instagram, did you? Because if you delete Threads, you delete your Instagram.
Shut up.
No, seriously.
Jeez.
I'm not logged in yet. Does that matter?
No, just don't log in. Just don't log in. They don't even have a desk site app. I don't think they're ever going to have a desk site app. I think those are definitely going the way of the dinosaur. But I think every app should have a desktop.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
I'm nervous about it now. I'm nervous about it now because
I started a whole new Instagram and just signed in that way. I was not connecting my actual 2 Instagrams to this thing. No freaking way.
Well, I didn't sign in, but the thing that comes up for accounts is all my Instagram accounts. I could automatically put them on there.
Yeah, it does. That's the beauty. You get to transfer your bio, all the followers that you have. When they sign up, they'll instantly be following you and things like that.
Oh,
but
man.
They don't even have direct messaging right now. They rolled it out because Elon cut the post limits, and they were like, deploy the threads.
Wow. So this only gives me an option, log in with Instagram.
Yeah, you have to have an Instagram account to have threads.
Oh,
That's why it says in the App Store, it says Threads, an Instagram app.
You can't create it. You can't create an account with like email or anything.
No, you have to have an Instagram account. That's how they're pushing this. So people who didn't have Instagram,
so they're
like, I want to be a part of Threads, and now they're also increasing their Instagram accounts. Now,
somebody's
but
in bed with Instagram.
So
okay.
if I delete this though, is it going to dump all my Instagram accounts?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
So I shouldn't even downloaded it.
Well, no, you can download it, just don't log in.
You got him, Lilith. Haha.
You don't have to use Threads. You don't. Just don't delete it, I guess. You can just have it.
What a nightmare.
That's a Meta product. Come on, let's be serious.
Yep, well.
The best thing Meta ever did, or should I say stole, was Oculus. That's the only thing they have going for them. Well, no, yeah. I mean, they did ruin WhatsApp. Now Signal's kind of the premier messaging app. Yeah. I said what I said. Oculus is the best thing they ever stole. Yeah.
So you were recommending Threads, but then
I wasn't recommending Threads. I was just saying that it's
oh, this great new thing, and then Rob downloads it. Don't download it. What?
No, I mean it has the potential to kill Twitter, and anything that makes Elon Musk a bigger F boy, I'm here for it. But I shouldn't be having the choices of the lesser evils of billionaires. You know.
Right.
I like Spill. It's just that they don't have an Android. I mean, I have a couple of iOS devices around the house or whatever, but I just feel like in the year 2023, I know it's easier to make the apps for the iOS because, it's the original app store and everything, but in the year of our Lord 2023, you need to deploy with both. You just have to. And I think that's why Threads, because they deploy with both, have, there's Mastodon, there's a couple of other ones that are Hive, that kind of always get anytime Twitter does something stupid, they'll get new users. But now it's like, well, most people have Instagram. Instagram had more monthly users than Twitter ever thought about. And Facebook definitely has, they have it in the billions, whereas Twitter has it in the millions. So it just makes sense. And I mean,
why need billions when you can have millions?
More like thousands at this point. But he literally told his users, your app depends on ads, right? So you're cutting the amount of ad time by making them get off the app and tell them to go touch grass. What are you doing, babes? What are you doing?
I mean,
we all know you didn't want to buy Twitter, but they made you. We understand, but you don't have to ruin it for the rest of us.
I mean, I know, I know what you were saying, Lilith. It's like it's stuff with bots and stuff, but it's like I never get. It's like, oh, here, try our product, but don't use it too much.
Well, yeah, it's all about AI scraping. It's like, damn you, ChatGPT ruining everything.
Yeah, no kidding.
My a lot of people on the tech side of where I work are kind of worried, like analytics and things like that. I was like, yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I was like, I work at a ruthless corporation. If they can get rid of people, they're gonna do it.
For sure. Well, the ChatGPT thing is interesting. I was talking to some a comic writer, and he was like singing the praises of ChatGPT, and he was like, he loves how he can like take an idea and put it in there. Yeah, right. But the problem is,
stopping an actual evil corporation from just doing it for themselves and cutting everybody out of it. Because it can do art.
Right.
There's no regulations on it right now. I mean, that's literally why we're in a strike right now, right?
Right.
Because they're talking about the use of AI generated scripts and things like that. And good for them. They need to think about this. As technology scales, I mean, that's kind of what happened back in 2006 or 7 when that first strike happened, right? It was about streaming.
Right.
About, like, and
Napster.
so, as we move away from actual linear TV and syndication and just everything's going to be streamed, they do need to be compensated on a different basis. I stand with the writers, obviously.
Oh, so do I.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and see, that's just it. The corporate muckety mucks got burned in the music industry when all that happened. I remember my father-in-law worked for ASCAP, and I remember talking about it with him, and it was like a brick wall. Nope, it'll never catch on. Nobody wants to do that. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I can get any music in the world for free on there, and it's not really regulated. And why would anybody pay you a fee? Oh no, it'll never happen. People do it by the book and they pay. Otherwise, we dump their booze down the sink. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? But that's what it is exactly what we're seeing right now with this strike. Whoever it was that just came out and said that they're going to starve out the writers. Did you read this?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they said they're going to starve them out. They said, we're not going to negotiate until closer to the holidays when they're now out of money and desperate. So they're more willing to negotiate. We can do reality.
People, reality TV, but we have to stand firm. Like I said, like MILF Manor was my line in the sand. Get rid of reality TV. It's done. You're done. I need scripted content.
It'll never be completely gone because it's so cheap to make, isn't it? You know, more than like a scripted show. And
technically, they do have story editors, so
yeah, but it's still cheaper, right?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm kind of have my line in the sand, and I mean, I have plenty of backlog content at the end of the day, I guess.
Where it's going to suck is what I'm getting into with these cons. Part of the thing with SAG, it said that the celebrities are banned from doing conventions.
Really?
Yeah, which I think is. No, it doesn't. And I'll tell you why. I'm a member of SAG, or I used to be. I let it lapse. Long story.
Well, actually, you're right. It doesn't make sense because that's pretty much the only way they're going to make money.
Because
SAG is the Screen Actors Guild. AFTRA is Federation of Television and Radio Artists, right? And they're merged. They are not live. So if you're at a theater that is union, it's an equity theater. If you're going to a convention, you're not filming, you're not doing any of those things. I don't have to get a SAG waiver to go speak at a panel at a con. Okay? So why do they have the power to tell the celebrities, we won't let you back in if you do this? So I've got, Todd, who is scheduled to come to Chicago. He's been touring because of Star Trek. He's getting all these cons, and I know he's making some nice cash from it.
Yeah.
And he's loving it. He's like great with fans and everything. Guess what? Done. He can't come to Chicago for Fan Expo. And I haven't written with him because I just read this. But they said under the SAG thing, they're not allowed. Celebrities are not allowed to do conventions.
Well, oh my God.
And that's
how is
BS.
that
Well,
actual SDCC though.
Well, what was that? The corporations fighting that too. So that, if they want to try to starve everyone out there, it's like, oh yeah, you can't be doing cons. They're going to keep they don't want to keep
but the ones who
themselves
said
alive.
it was SAG.
Huh.
Why does SAG want to starve them out? They don't want to starve them out.
Yeah,
I'm not going to speculate.
Is there somebody in there?
Yeah. Behind closed doors in Hollywood. So
but
that is eyebrow raising, and maybe y'all need to fire the president of SAG right now. That's Is it still Melissa? What's her name?
Yeah, I think so.
She's been there forever. I think maybe it's time for a little change.
I think that's just
decision.
Well, and the other part of that was one of the problems I had with SAG when I was in it. Number one, I was in both, so I was a rarity, and it was expensive as hell to be in both. Right? It wasn't like I chose to be. It's if you got work in one and then you got work in the other, at some point you're forced to join. I got a lot of SAG work, and then all of a sudden when I moved to Minneapolis, I started getting AFTRA work because they didn't do as much SAG, so I had to join AFTRA. And then just as I was getting out, they merged. And I'm like, really? So I paid double the dues on everything, and now you're merged. Bite me. But my problem with it was that
it's different needs, though, right?
When it was. Now they're all under one umbrella. But when you're an actor, you're perpetually out of work, right? And you need to be able to work your skills. You need to be able to get in things to keep in practice. When you're in SAG, all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, you can't do independent stuff. You can't do anything. You can't do anything that's not SAG approved. And they eventually got to this whole thing with SAG waivers where you could do indie films and that, but they had to be SAG approved. And I know that it's union and they're saying, well, that protects you, but does it? Or does it prevent you from working? It's a fine line. And I know that for me, so I can tell you. So I was in for a long time, and then in 2000 when we moved back to Chicago, I said I'm done. I'm not acting anymore. I just let it lapse, and I just let it sit there. Right, no more paying dues. When Molly got back in, and all of a sudden I was getting parts, I got in a film with her that was a SAG waiver, and I got nervous. I'm like, uh-oh, does this mean I have to re-up because I'm not Tat Harfley, which is when you're kind of in limbo? Or do I have to rejoin? So I called and I talked to them. They told me that no, all I have to do is pay like 1 month's back dues and the current dues. So it's like $600 and I'm back in, which compared to what it costs to join is a sliver. Okay. But to me, that whole time, I'm like, you're preventing me from working. So I do this SAG waiver one. If it's categorized as micro budget, you're still paying that much in SAG dues, but you might be getting paid $100 a day.
Yeah.
That's bull. That's bull that they have any say in what you're doing. And it's also bull.
That's a slippery slope with just any union too.
Right. So I have a real problem with that, even though I also was very pro SAG because there was a lot of good. The threshold to get insurance in that was terrible, though. Everyone's like, oh, God, I'll get in SAG and then I'll get insurance. Yeah, that's kind of like saying I'll start a podcast and I'll get sponsors.
Well, that's the crazy thing. I love the story of Mayim Bialik and why she like went to go work on The Big Bang, right? She's like, well, I just needed insurance. So what's like one of those things. Seriously. I had a year where I was inching up where I was like, oh, I actually might hit the insurance threshold. But then even at that threshold, the cost of insurance to you, it wasn't just now you got insurance. I was still like, this is still like Cobra prices. What the hell? And now you guys know why I work a corporate job that I hate.
Yes. I am not working a corporate job, but, well, I can't talk about it.
I got 4 dogs to feed, Rob.
I got 2 that are sleeping right by me right now, but they're not mine. I got a cat to feed. I mean, come on, $17 a month. That really cuts in.
That cat's eating good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the whole landscape is a mess right now, and I just don't know what could possibly be next. Like I miss old Twitter. Like, and we're never gonna get back to that again, no matter how hard we try. Even if Elon decides to sell it to somebody else, the damage is done.
Yep.
And that makes me a little sad.
And you know what really stinks about it is, for certain things, Twitter was a really good marketing tool for certain things. And
the news and like how it was
right. And now
in
like
things.
I'm using it for TTRPG Insider, even though I'm watching the thing disappear under my feet, because the TTRPG community on there is amazing. But where are they going to go? And Instagram doesn't. No, you told me not to get Threads, even though
you can get Threads. You just can't delete it for right now.
God.
Just get Threads. Stop being a grandpa. Get Threads. It'll be fine.
Get off my lawn.
Just do it. Do you have a separate account or is everything like connected?
I have 200 accounts.
Yeah, I know, but is it under the main one? You know how they let you do sub accounts or whatever?
Yeah, you don't have a Master Doom account?
So says Master Doom. No, the way Instagram works, you can only have so many accounts on your phone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think it's 10.
Yeah.
10? I thought it was like 4 or 5.
Oh,
it is.
That's for you Apple people. Sorry.
Wow.
6. It is 6. Yeah, Instagram, there's things I love about it, and there's things that I'm just like...
Well, they've returned their chronological feed. They've done a lot of... They realized hey, man, we don't need a TikTok phone. That's what we use Instagram for. And they kind of repealed some of the other stuff. So they're headed in the right way.
They are.
And it's great for advertising into that.
Yeah, for marketing a podcast, it's not great.
No, yeah, no, definitely not.
And Twitter was actually pretty good for that. If you use Facebook right, it can be, but Facebook is kind of a cesspool. So, I mean, the whole thing is pretty botched up right now. It's why TikTok got so big, because it had all the hashtags and the trends and all the stuff that everybody started following.
It was the Wild West for a while. Now it's like overly restrictive and super censored to the point that you have to say corn instead of porn. So, which has now filtered over to YouTube. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
TikTok's a good place to market books and podcasts. very active user base, very, engagement driven.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out for the
Still a cesspool,
TTRPG
just
thing
in a
as
different
well.
way.
Yeah. Podcast could be a great marketing tool, but you try to work with podcasters.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's like wrangling cats, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I keep booking, people on these shows, but trying to get them to write back, trying to get them to understand basic things like, hey, they come on and they have, 10,000 followers on Twitter. They'll promote that they were on your show. See, it's good for you.
You're giving them the exposure talk. Okay.
Oh my God.
Rob's going Hollywood, guys.
They can't understand that, but that's a basic.
I'll pay you an exposure.
Yeah, they can't understand it. They can't understand thinking outside of the box, and that's something that
Isn't that the whole thing about being a podcaster, though?
It should be.
I mean, when you're not like corporate sponsored, you know what I mean?
But I think that what happens is people start up their podcast, they have their idea, they get all excited, they start doing it, and then they think, number one, they either think they're Howard Stern.
Hey now.
Which, how many did that to us in our network? I kept having to have arguments about that. You're not Howard Stern, so shut up. Or they think I've got a viable.
He told you that.
They think they have this like viable product that, I created this and it's so precious and I can't go outside of it because it's so precious. It's like you're getting, when we actually run your numbers, you have about 40 followers. You know what I mean?
But it's their 40 followers, right?
Oh my God.
Rob, how dare you not chip off pieces off of those bars of gold you sit on so they'll join you join you on your marathon. Come on.
Gold press platinum, I tell you.
Oh yeah. These walls, that's pure gold.
I remember like early days, like Charlie thought like you had like expensive cars. I don't know. He thought you were like rolling in dough. I'm like, dude, his bathrobe has holes in it. Okay.
Yeah.
The bunny slippers have one ear at this point. Yeah.
My purpose with podcasting and what we were trying to do paid off.
Absolutely.
Because number one, it gave us proof of concept on a lot of things. It positioned me, and the position I now am stepping into never would have been possible. But it's a long game, and you have to be.
Oh yeah.
You have to be willing to adapt, and you have to be, keep thinking about what the next thing is and how to stay on top of it. But if you think you're going to get rich off of this,
especially
Joe Rogan, you're selling those special blue pills.
Yeah, right.
And if you think
Blue
you're going
to, Blue Chew,
I mean, it especially you think you're going to make two cents right away. No, kids, no.
Right.
Which is weird because of what YouTube just did, right? They quote unquote potentially lowered the monetization thresholds by giving all those new tools, but it's like, babes, I don't need super chats if I have 5 people.
Right.
I need that AdSense, babes. What are you doing? You can't fool me. You can't fool me, Alphabet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, YouTube, when we started there, it didn't have all those weird thresholds. Like you could technically start making money with AdSense stuff right away. And oh my God, the rules are nuts. And everyone that I deal with is like, oh, well, when I get to 1,000 followers, I'm going to start making money.
Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Depending on your content.
Talk to my friends that did it. They're at about 1,500 followers. They're like monetized. I think they've made a total of about $7 in the past 6 months.
Yeah, if you're not into reviewing products and stuff like that, the CPM is pretty low. So if you're only going to go into YouTube for the money and not just the passion of it at first, you need to do something like that has a high CPM. If that's just what you're into.
But if you're going to do something creative, like really creative, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Go to Vimeo, make your videos, do your thing.
I mean, you might get lucky with a Patreon, but YouTube ain't paying your bills.
Yeah, I'm actually more of the mindset of start a Substack, communicate with your followers, raise money when you're going to do something, and raise it in the right place. Don't go to Seed and Spark or someplace like that, go to the right place. And I think you could put something together, but you have to have
your community first.
Yeah. And you have to be willing to, learn as much as possible. That's the big one I get. I'm not a marketer. I don't know. Well, neither was I.
There's plenty of books. There's plenty of YouTube channels.
Yeah. Neither was I. When we started, I was asking Lilith, how do I even put a bio on my Twitter? And, I ended up getting an MBA. I didn't learn most of this stuff there, I learned a lot of things.
Social media
Obviously,
is a life experience for sure. So like
social media, new media marketing, that is all completely different. It's just like
it just changes so fast they can't teach them.
And
they
it's just
can
like
give you the basics, but not the actual.
It's just like PR. With PR. People think they can go to school for it, and
either you have it or you don't. As a former PR person, either you have it or you don't, and you get burnt out too. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. And there are things. I mean, if you can be smart enough to take the time to learn a little something and make yourself vulnerable and say I don't know, you'll be able to piece these things together. Anybody can, but you have to be in it for the long haul, or say, you know what, I don't care about making the money. I want to make something cool. Like I'm with the one I'm helping with. I'm helping so that the whole goal right now is to get it so everything's optimized, and maybe we can attract a sponsor to pay for the feed.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you can do that, be happy. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I have a couple of magic bullets on that I have been figuring out, but that's for another show.
Ooh.
What show would that be?
I need a gun.
We're at the hour marker, so we might as well get some shameless plugs going here.
Well, I just booked an interview with one person. Get this, I guested on her show, and it was awful because she's like, it turned out she was trying to get the like old men of the podcast industry. I'm like, it's only been 10 years. God damn it. And then my beard showed up.
That's a long time in podcasting.
Then my beard showed up and my bald spot, and I went, oh.
She nailed it.
Yeah. My age spots caught up with me. So anyway, it was a great conversation. I spilled a lot of good tea on how to do this, and turns out she's been pretty successful at it. And she, before she launched her first episode, had a sponsor. And I said, how did you do this? And she said, oh, I'll tell you everything. She goes, I don't know why people don't do these things. And I've had some conversations with her, and she's got real solid advice. So the episodes we did, she recorded 30 episodes, and her hard drive crashed.
Oh, no.
She lost it all. So I've actually been trying to help her recover it.
Back up to the cloud, people.
Yeah.
Or at least an external hard drive.
Exactly. I always did external hard drive. But, I mean, what a nightmare, right?
Yeah.
And she had some really great interviews in there. And so I up until recently, I was really trying to help her out with that. And finally she said, I'm going to just cut my losses. And I said, great, have me back on. I've got more to say. I'll do a couple of episodes, fill up your roster. But she's going to come on New Media Lab specifically to talk about how you get a sponsor when you don't have any numbers. And she's like, it's easy. And you know what? She's not far off. And then I have a letter, like a template that I think what I'm going to do is adapt it and make it like a loss leader. Sign up for my email and you can get this letter. And it's really just a sponsorship reach out letter that you should adapt. If you just use what it says, people are going to get it and be like, I've already seen this. But it's effective. And it is not based on numbers. I just had a conversation with a very high up comic guy with his company, and his son was all into what I do and was like, wanted me to meet his dad. And we had this conversation, and they brought their marketing buddy on with them. And this guy was definitely threatened, even though I don't know why. He was challenging me on a lot of stuff. And his big thing was he kept throwing out these terms, which are basically numbers, right? How what numbers do you have? But he had these terms, and I'm like, what the hell are these terms? And I kept saying, I've never heard these. And he's like, well, then how do you call yourself a podcaster if you don't work these things? And I'm like, dude, I've been doing it for 10 years. And, technically I might be the only person with an MBA in podcasting. I think I'd have heard these terms. I figured out what it is. The more I thought about it, I'm like, I have heard them, but not related to podcasting. They are terms that marketers use around TikTok.
Nah.
And it has to do with activity, what they do when they're there and how they do it. Doesn't apply to podcasting.
Numbers, basically?
Right,
yeah,
but they don't call it that. They have this other weird this and this. And I was like, I could not figure it out. And I wrote to I'm going to name drop Dave Jackson, the School of Podcasting. I wrote to Dave, and I'm like, hey, Dave, I'm talking to this guy. While I'm talking to this guy live, I write to Dave, and I'm like, hey, man, I go, do you know these terms? Am I like off on this? And he goes, if you don't know these terms and I don't know these terms, they're not terms for this. And he goes, I don't know what you are talking about. And I was like, okay, good enough. I figured it out that it was this TikTok thing, but it was like what is this? That's the problem. If you're going to get sponsorship for a podcast and you're going through a marketing barrier, you're going to get people that don't understand this. You got to start small. You go to for Phil, you go to your local comic book shop and you tell them, hey, you could sponsor. I'm looking for $20 an episode and I'll do this for you. You have a value add. I will do this for you. I'll social media this. And, if they start talking numbers, it's like, look, I have a small audience, but they are passionate. If you're going to reach people, you have a better shot of reaching them through my show than you do something that throws it out to a billion people and they're not the right audience.
And then can you also be like, oh, hey, basically I'm giving you free, I'll do stuff for you on social media, basically for free, well, not free, but.
No, but you do that. You say, okay, so like if I was doing it, if I was trying to get a sponsor for Capes and Lunatics, first of all, I'd figure out a sponsor right there that applies. So D's Nuts. I would go for D's Nuts, and then I would write to them. I would offer them. I would figure out what my rates are. Have maybe 3 rates. $25 to get a mention at the top of the show. This episode is brought to you by D's Nuts. Okay.
Wait, it's perfect, Phil. It's perfect.
And I would say $50 for a mid roll. Okay.
Whoa.
And I would say $50 for a mid roll, and at that one, we will do 2 tweets during the week.
Oh.
Promoting D's Nuts. Like
so
say
Lilith asking Phil, have you washed your nuts with these nuts yet?
Perfect. You do one of those, and then you do one that you say, hey, do you guys have like a promotion going? And we'll retweet it. Like, hey, our sponsor is doing this. Okay. And then I do like maybe a $75 tier that's like, okay, you're a full sponsor. We'll do a sponsor, this brought to you by at the top. And at the end, we'll do like an ad, or we'll do it in the mid-roll, whatever you want. And then we'll push you out. We'll put it on our website, like in our show notes. So it's on that part of it. We'll put it on our website, and we'll do it on each of our social media things once a week during the course of our thing. But you got to sign a 3-month contract. You can't do month to month. You'll be chasing your tail all the time. That's how I do it. And you know what? If you go to small people, they're going to go for it. If you go to big people, they're never going to do it because, well, I want 10,000 downloads an episode. Good luck with that.
It wasn't conversational commerce, was it? I'm trying to think of a term that somebody would use.
No, I'll look it up. I'm not home. I've got it at home. It was nuts to me. Yeah. Oh, and I just had another one I was going to tell you, and I lost it.
Nuts.
Yeah, D's Nuts. I would go for D's Nuts, Phil.
God, there's a drop, Lilith.
But you know what? Anyone who does internet sales of something pertaining to what you do, if you found somebody who did, like, not an Etsy shop, but maybe they have their own online store and they do custom, like, lettering, those big letters you can buy at the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Etsy will have these, but they'll put comic book prints on them.
Yeah.
So it's like decorate your kids' room with these comic book prints. Start them young. This is our sponsor for the next 3 months. That's who I'd go to. And you'd say, look, it's $25 an episode. If they're like, yeah, that's way too rich. Well, what's your budget? What you got to spend money to make money. Can you do $10 an episode? We'll do 1 episode a week. Or if you go, look, we do a ton of episodes. I'll do the 25 and I'll throw it across all my shows for 3 months. You won't be exclusive. You won't be main sponsor, but we'll throw an ad in there for you. And the way you start that roller coaster to get used to it is start doing promo shares with other podcasts.
We used to.
Keep doing it. It's big. And with those promo shares, you can also do promo shares for people outside of the podcast world. For example, on TTRPG Insider, I do an ad for Todd's Nerd Circus. I made an ad. I even sang the song that's on it, which you guys should hear. It's funny. Todd loved it, and he was like, oh, my God, and I did it for free for him. I was going to charge Todd for this, but when you listen to my show, I've had people say they hear my...
for him not giving you a wedgie in high school?
He would not have given me I was a huge jerk. Nobody was giving me a wedgie. I wasn't a bully, but I might have been because I was lead alto and I was leading the plays. So I probably had an ego about my shit. So no, I wasn't getting wedgies. Yeah, I would have been the guy going like push you out of the way and be like, screw you, I'm not going to deal with this.
Go back and look at my
until I got around sports kids that beat the crap out of me. Yeah. In the nerd world, I was the bully. Outside of the nerd world, I was bullied. I was never a bully, to tell you the truth.
Please kick me in the pants.
I am P-Boy.
Oh, so when can we expect a new episode of New Media?
I think I've got 7
Just put 'em on the
recorded.
spot.
No, I think I've got 7 recorded. I just recorded a really good one that was all about promos, to tell you the truth. I am probably relaunching like a regular schedule. I made a schedule for all my shows because I'm still doing like 7 shows, even though we let everybody go. I'm back to doing
you're
like
star. You're a star.
No, seriously not. I would give them all up to people if I could get them to do them. No, I am driven to help people is what it is.
Yes.
Every one of my shows is about, other than Nuff Said, because that one I'm just having fun with Jack and Lil. Every one of my shows, right. Every one of my shows is like TTRPG Insider. I take a tabletop game and I interview everybody that I can involved with that game, and I make it Game of the Month, and I feature that game and encourage people to go to their Kickstarter. Whether they're a client or not, I don't care. I'm trying
to play the game.
These are not launched yet, so I can't play the game.
They should send you one, and you and Molly and Maeve should play them. I'm just saying.
Then I'd have to learn. That's more work than I want to do.
Listen,
but what
the fundamentals are almost always the same.
Rob Southgate and rules do not mix, Lilith Hellfire.
But what I will be doing, Lilith, you are right, is
you can send them to us. We'll play them. No problem.
Well, I'm going to have them come on and have me, if Molly wants to play, if Maeve wants to play with us, but they can run the game so the game is run the right way for them. That would be fun. Because if I have to read a book and to play their game, I'm going to be in hell. So you're right, though.
Yeah.
That kind of interaction stuff is key. But right now, I'm not concerned about that. I just want to help these tabletop things. Alley Chats is all about getting the word out for people. Go Fund This is all about getting the word out for people. You know? And that's why I reach out to you guys. If I have one that's either a client or somebody that I'm like, hey, like Nakia, she needs help with this. Mm-hmm. I did a live marathon for her the other night. I was supposed to only be on for an hour. I stayed on for 6 hours.
No.
I did.
Get out of town.
You had enough.
Talk for 6 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could talk that long, Rob?
And we had just like great guests. It was like one after the other, lots of fun. Erica came on from Four Horsemen, from the publisher, and she's the CEO over there. She comes on. I thought she was going to be on for 20 minutes. She was there for like 2.5 hours. And then she's like, I got an appointment. I got to go. It was awesome. That's what I love to do. I love to help people. So that's where it's at.
Very cool.
So
glad
expect.
To see you're staying busy and out of Maeve's here. Good
yes, but I do have a schedule, and going forward, they're going to just be every month. I'm going to have at least 2 shows on each feed, and I've already got tons of stuff recorded. I've got 14 episodes of TTRPG Insider done in the can. Starting next week, they're going to start going like 2 a week.
Don't forget to back up, Rob.
I've got it in multiple places. So yeah, it's cool. And then I do this show when Phil reminds me.
I thought you were busy with your empire.
Yeah, we're like we'll let Rob ask about it.
No, man, write to me if I can do it. I'm always doing it. I figure I do this once a month.
We could have used the line from ALA, Rob. Just saying.
ALA was good. ALA was good.
If you just want to film some behind the scenes stuff and just throw it up as a third best Southgate too, when you're allowed, we could do that.
I'll think about it. I'll be at these cons. Yeah, when we do these cons, I can't talk.
Like just a travel blog or anything.
Can't tell you about this. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll start a travel blog. That'd be kind of cool. Do some third best Southgate content. I tried it right in the beginning. Yeah. I did a couple of things from the car, and then I just kind of forgot about it. But maybe since we're going to be traveling a lot, maybe I'll add that to the mix. It'd be fun.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Just a clip show. Yeah.
I would love, speaking of TTRPG, you know what I would love is if I would play it with you guys too. If we could set up a night where we all went on Twitch. In fact, I believe I'm actually taking over a Twitch channel that has 26,000 followers. Yeah, I know.
You bought a Twitch channel?
Okay, let's not talk about it. But I think no, I'm literally, pirating the whole thing as I tend to do. But they have 26,000 followers, so I'm like, ooh, there's something I might want to work with.
Pirates are.
But I think it would be really cool to, I don't know who DM, we'd have to find somebody, or GM, But we could do like the old Marvel game, the old
Yes.
one, which I have the entire TSR catalog for that. There's lots of good superhero games that are out there, but
I'm gonna request the DC tabletop game. Thank you.
I would do that one. Well, you know, I did that. Did you know I did that? For like 2 years, Chris and I played at Blue Box. This guy wrote one. Oh, we could get him to come on and run a game for us.
Actually, I remember us having a discussion about that.
It's called, I was going to call it Capes and Lunatics. It's called...
Heroes and Cloaks is our alias.
Oh.
That's our Finsta.
Hideouts and Hoodlums.
Whoa.
And it was Golden Age DC. So I was the Sandman. Chris was Green Lantern, but when you start out, we were like early in it. So he was just, as he said, he was just green and squishy because he had like no powers. So like every time we'd get into a battle, he's like, somebody's got to heal me. I'm dead. It was over and over. It was fantastic. And then the one guy played, it's not Ant-Man. What's the Atom? The Atom. My friend Rich played the Atom. And the whole game, all I did was make fun of him for being so small.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like, someday I'm going to figure out how to be big. I'm like, someday I'll be a real boy. Sandman. Sandman was awesome. I went back and I read some of the comics to figure out things about the Sandman. And I found he had this gun. Well, he had the Sandman gun, right? But he had this weird gun. It was only in a couple of issues, but it shot like a harpoon or something. And it could be used as a weapon or to shoot and climb. And it would retract and he'd scale up. And when I brought that to the group, I said, hey, I found this in the comics. He said, if it's in the comics, you can have it. So I had this awesome weapon. And then I had my Sandman gun, which if you rolled a 1, it blew up in your face and you fell asleep. But that sucked.
Wait, I don't remember the one from the 70s. I know there's the ones from the 80s. That's the Marvel suits. What's the one from the 70s?
No, not 70s.
Okay.
When is Golden Age?
The 40s or whatever.
Yeah,
he's saying the Golden Age characters, not the.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Golden Age characters. Yeah. So
that-
it was. We were essentially the Justice Society. At the end of our campaign, we actually became the Justice Society. And there was rumors while we were playing. Every once in a while, there's a rumor of this person with superpowers, which was Superman. Well, we heard rumors. He did not exist in our world. And then Batman was out there. But if you read Sandman, he's essentially Batman.
Yeah.
So I was essentially Batman. I was a billionaire with the gadgets, but I made people fall asleep rather than strike fear into their hearts.
Or you
Batman, my favorite character.
Or crush him in a recycler.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. It was great catching up with you, Rob.
This was so much fun. I don't know if anyone's going to care about
excited to see your
listening to it, but
projects.
oh my God, Lilith, I can't wait to actually tell you what's going on because it's really exciting. And at the end of the day, I won't have to drive Lyft ever again, I don't think. So
He's a mover. He's a shaker.
no, it's the culmination of everything we've done.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that was how our network was. We'd always say it's like all the things we've done in our lives led to this moment. It doesn't mean we're going to make money at it, but it led us to this moment. Finally, we've reached a point where we're like, oh, this could actually
What's this?
this could be a life-changing money thing. And it looks like it's happening. And
Well, I mean, you just told me the smallest fraction of it on the phone, and I was like, Rob, I'm like, you guys are there. You know,
I know.
You're getting there, you know.
and it's Phil, that was 5%.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's crazy. It's crazy. So thank God.
Yeah.
You know? Thank God. That's what we need now is something to crack open because I am tired of nickel and diming. I'm tired of going out and selling my toys. I'd rather go donate them to a bunch of kids and say, here, have fun.
You mean fell in love? Sure.
Oh, you guys would have hated it. A guy came out and rated my comics because I was going to take pictures for you guys. And this guy said, hey, he wanted to come out and he wanted, I forget which comic. And he came out and he saw my box and he was like, hey, can I look through? He offered me good money. I was like, I'll take it. But I still have a ton. I still have like 7 boxes of comics.
He kept all those issues of ROM Space Knight.
I do have Rom Space Knight.
Oh, did you see Marvel's collecting that next year? They're going to reprint and put out all the ROM stuff.
Oh, do they get the rights back?
They must have, yeah, because they're printing it. Because I know they haven't. Marvel for the longest time they could only mention Space Knights. They couldn't mention ROM by name, but yeah, they're putting out the ROM stuff next year, so they must have gotten the rights back. I think they got that and Micronauts back. Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
Uh-huh.
Well, James Gunn in the original Guardians those were the two things he wanted Micronauts and Around the Space Network, and then
he should have stuck it out.
They didn't
now
have the rights.
Stuck in DC. Stuck in Warner Brothers. Yikes.
Yeah,
God
I don't know.
bless 'em.
I don't know. Well, I mean, Peacemaker's awesome, but if everything looks like Peacemaker, it's not going to last. It's like if everything in Marvel was Guardians, which it kind of became for a little bit, and that's why things kind of slipped. Tiki Watatuki or whatever, when he did
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder, it was
even
like
Chris Hemsworth didn't like that movie.
he screwed up. He leaned into the comedy because aren't I funny? It's like, well, no. You needed to take
this. This is what we do in the shadows. Calm down.
Yeah, take the serious part and add the comedy, like the ludicrousness of Thor, and it works beautifully.
Hey, look, Jane Foster's dying, but let's get to the next joke.
Yeah. Plus, the God Butcher is such a great character, and they had Christian Bale, and it was like he wasn't ominous. He was doing his best.
Good for you.
He was doing his best with what he had there, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Love and Thunder is not great. It's not great.
No. All right,
but we see Return to Greatness with the Marvels. Sorry.
We're not.
Those other two carrying Brie Larson on their backs. Anyway, yeah. Before we go, Rob, any other final plugs? Anything people should?
Well, I mean, I'm still coaching and consulting, so you can go to SouthgateSmallBusiness.com and hire me to help you reach your goals and figure out your stuff. I have a fabulous client right now that oh my God, she keeps telling me like I've changed her life in these positive ways. I'm not doing it. I'm just helping her see what she already had in front of her, and it's fantastic. So there's that. You can check out all my shows. Just follow me at @Southgate or follow at SMG Pods on Twitter, Southgate Media Group on Instagram, wherever, Facebook. I'm on all these things, and I try to share a lot. I try to share all the different things I'm doing. If you're into tabletop stuff, I've got TTRPG Insider. I've got Alley Chats where I talk to comic book artists, Alley people, and there's going to be a ton of those coming up. Ton. I have New Media Lab where we talk business stuff. I'm forgetting everything else. Whatever.
It'll be in the show notes. Don't worry about
it. Yeah. And everyone,
you can go to the website, but the website sucks because I haven't updated it. I was in the middle of an overhaul. I finally figured out a way to have a podcast like landing page for episodes that I liked, and I tried to make it so that like anybody we could just plug people into it. It would be really cool, but it takes a lot of work to set up the first time. So I set up like four of our shows. Then I went but actually, you know what I'm working on? Ooh, here's a hot one. This is the last thing, Phil, I promise. I'm actually working on getting a live 365 radio station running all the old Southgate Media Group stuff.
Lilith, shut up. I had that idea, I swear, like a year ago, and you were like, oh, that's stupid.
I actually had that idea when we started, but I couldn't get anything to work out. I finally think I figured it out.
Is it like an internet radio thing, or?
It's live 365. So yeah, it's on the internet, but now with, I mean, everything I'm listening to is off the internet.
Yeah,
in my car and everywhere. So who cares?
I had the thought to just reach out there, all the podcasters we know, it's like, hey, do you want to go in on this with us? And and just it would basically be a rotation of everyone's shows playing 365.
Well, yeah. I was actually thinking about doing that with Chicago Podcasters Unite, but they're podcasters, so highly unmotivated. Same problem I have with Southgate Media Group people. When I reach out like, hey, everybody, I get Phil responding.
You got me and Jesse Jackson responding.
I got Jesse responding. And then I'm like, here's an opportunity. This is all we have to do. And poof, it's like, okay.
Well, Rob, you have to
but I have all that content, so I think I might put it on. And if I do that, the reason I'm dragging my heels is I'm trying to create a schedule for it. So like Tuesdays, 2:00 before the bat. Wednesdays, 2:00. Flash Hour, Power Hour is still up. Like those shows, we have a ton of shows. Why not put them on? And then maybe
doing nothing. Why not?
Yeah, and then maybe I could create like a Saturday night, new shit or something. And if you wanted to stream Capes and Lunatics, just give me the file and we put it up on there.
Okay.
And but I got so much on my plate. I'm like, I'm going to wait on that. Oh, aside from the Twitch channel, I got another one too. I can't talk about it. Oh my God. I got another thing that is like insane that I guessed it on something, and afterwards she was like, you understand this so well. Do you want it? And I was like, what do you mean want it? She was like, I'm just going to hand it all over to you because I think you should be doing this. No, but it's cool. So give it time.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you get that radio channel going, just let me know, man. I mean, I'll record. I mean, we should record some, like pre-recorded intros for shows and stuff. Be like,
oh, that'd be awesome.
Here's an oldie and a goodie, oldie but a goodie from 2017.
Oh my God. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could be, Rob Southgate and D's Nuts. And you could come on and be like, hi everybody, I'm D's Nuts. Yeah. And you have the fart sound effects.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't tempt him. He's always got him at the ready.
It's the douche from Parks and Rec.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Robin the douche, yeah.
Hey, welcome to Robin the douche. I'm the douche.
Okay, now that just sounds like a Family Guy.
Yeah.
Pepperidge
All
Farm
right.
knows.
It's almost 10. I got to go to bed. I'm getting itchy and tired.
Don't keep the old man up, Phil.
You are. You are. I'm usually in bed an hour ago, so.
All right, yeah, we're going to close this out. But again, kids, if you're on the fence about, should I reach out to Rob for his wisdom, we would have capes and lunatics would not exist without this man. So I don't know if that's a good testimonial or not. But yes, capes and lunatics wouldn't exist without this man.
I love you guys. I'm so happy to be on here.
Oh, we love you too, Master Doom.
Best
of all, Master Doom. All right. That's right, kids. You have to put on that orthopedic bathrobe and go to bed, everyone. The rock star of podcasting, Mr. Rob Southgate.
The elder statesman of podcasting.
Don't drink coffee after 10. It'll keep him up all night. Don't have to pee.
I'm just listening to my friend Patrik's music here. It's awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes, man, that's what draws people in, man. The music.
Yeah, you just mentioned the saddest thing in my world. The other night, I had trouble sleeping after coffee. It's like the first time ever. I think I have to cut back 10%.
The greatest ally and your worst enemy.
Either that or maybe I should just work up my tolerance more. I need to do more. I must have coffee.
Oh, no.